Why is it that after so many experiences of human closeness, you don't feel more eager for connection, but instead feel drawn toward a form of companionship that is quiet, restrained, and free of explanation? Not the kind of closeness that demands constant interaction, not the kind that requires you to be emotionally available at all times, but a presence where you can sit in silence, say nothing, do nothing, and still be allowed to exist. A companionship that doesn't rush you, doesn't claim you, doesn't ask you to perform your feelings, and somehow, in that quiet, you feel calmer, steadier, and perhaps, for the first time in a long while, safe. Why have you slowly realized that you don't actually crave constant attention? That you don't long for intense emotional exchange, frequent reassurance, or the kind of closeness that quietly drains you over time? Why does safety for you feel less like being needed and more like being respected? And why, when you're with a cat, do you feel no urge to rush closer, yet when the cat chooses you, it carries a strange and deep sense of being acknowledged? You don't need to impress. You don't need to entertain. You don't need to be more expressive, more animated, more emotional. You are simply there, and that is enough. You might think this is just preference, just personality, just that you're a quiet person. But what if it's something deeper? What if loving cats isn't about withdrawing from people, but about understanding something essential long before others do? That real connection doesn't come from chasing, doesn't come from performance, and never comes at the cost of your boundaries. Today, we're not talking about why you like cats. We're talking about something closer to your inner world. Because when someone loves cats deeply, it is rarely a compensation for loneliness. More often, it reflects a long-formed psychological orientation toward gentleness, boundaries, and honest connection. It's common to assume that loving animals, especially cats, is a form of emotional projection, as if unmet relational needs are being redirected toward a safer, simpler bond. But, psychologically speaking, this explanation often misses the point. People who love cats deeply are usually highly sensitive to uncertainty within relationships. They are not afraid of connection. They are alert to connections that require constant self-sacrifice. They've learned, often through experience, that closeness does not always mean safety. Many relationships appear warm on the surface but carry unspoken expectations, emotional labor, and the quiet pressure to manage other people's feelings. Cats offer something structurally different. Their relationships are low intrusion, predictable, and, most importantly, honest. Cats don't create intimacy through intensity. They don't demand emotional availability. Their closeness and distance follow a clear rhythm, free of hidden expectations. For someone who values psychological safety, this is not emotional coldness, it's relief. In this space, you don't need to stay constantly on. You don't need to regulate yourself for the sake of harmony. You don't have to compress your inner experience to remain connected. You're not avoiding human relationships. You're instinctively seeking a form of connection that doesn't require losing yourself to sustain it. Many people who love cats have been emotionally perceptive since early life. They notice subtle shifts in tone. They sense tension before it's spoken. They feel emotional undercurrents that others overlook. But sensitivity in many environments is not something that gets welcomed or protected. In fast-paced, outward-focused cultures, highly sensitive people often learn not to feel less, but to express less. They become skilled at containing emotion, appearing composed, rational, easy to be around, while internally processing far more than they reveal. Cats mirror this emotional architecture. Cats are sensitive, yet they never apologize for it. They don't explain withdrawal. They don't justify their boundaries. They simply honor their internal states. When you're with a cat, your emotions don't need to be explained, fixed, or reframed. They are allowed to exist as they are. That sense of ease isn't projection, it's resonance. You're not becoming simpler, you're finally allowed to remain complex. People who love cats often relate to love in a way that diverges from cultural norms. They don't equate closeness with frequency. They don't confuse intensity with security. And they're cautious of relationships that arrive too quickly, too closely, without respecting boundaries. Cats don't attach indiscriminately. They observe, they wait, they choose. And when a cat chooses you, it carries no transaction, no obligation, no performance. That moment of being chosen, quietly, freely, means something profound to those who value autonomy. Because deep down, they desire the same in human connection. To be wanted, not because they're useful, not because they're endlessly accommodating, but because they're understood and respected. They are willing to move slowly if it means avoiding relationships that require constant proof of worth. For them, patience isn't passivity, it's discernment. Cat lovers are sometimes described as distant, reserved, or emotionally cool. But psychologically, this is rarely disengagement, it's boundary awareness. They understand that intimacy without boundaries quickly becomes depletion. They avoid relationships that rely on constant emotional access, unspoken obligations, or invisible demands. Cats model this beautifully. They approach when safe. They withdraw when overstimulated. Neither behavior carries shame. This clarity becomes reflected in how cat lovers relate to people. They gravitate toward low control, high respect dynamics. They don't use emotional intensity to create closeness. They don't confuse fusion with love. They're not choosing distance, they're choosing closeness that doesn't erase them. There's a pattern many people notice. Cats often approach the quietest person in the room. Psychologically, the explanation is simple. Cats are drawn to low-threat energy. People who love cats tend to embody this naturally. They don't rush. They don't demand attention. They don't pursue connection aggressively. They can wait. This ability to remain present without pressing often reflects a mature attachment style. They desire connection, but they don't collapse without it. When a cat chooses them, the resulting sense of being seen isn't fleeting excitement. It's a deep, stabilizing affirmation. I am worthy of connection without striving. Ultimately, loving cats isn't about loving quiet. It's about loving authenticity without intrusion. In many human relationships, intimacy requires performance. You must react correctly, express enough but not too much. Stay available, stay interesting, stay regulated. Cats don't ask for that. They respond to presence, not performance. For those who've spent years moderating themselves, this experience can be deeply reparative. It restores the belief that connection doesn't have to cost your authenticity. Cat lovers aren't rejecting people. They're rejecting the idea that love requires self-erasure. They understand something fundamental. Healthy closeness never demands that you abandon yourself. So, if you feel an unusually deep bond with cats, it may not be about the animal at all. It may be about the kind of connection you've always needed, one that doesn't rush you, doesn't demand explanation, doesn't ask you to be louder, warmer, or more expressive than you are. In a world that often equates love with intensity and constant output, you've learned that quiet can be intimate. that boundaries can be loving, that slowness is not rejection. You don't fear connection. You simply require one that doesn't drain you. Your way of loving isn't flawed, it's refined. When a cat chooses you, it isn't looking for entertainment or control. It recognizes a familiar rhythm, one grounded in respect, patience, and presence. That rhythm deserves to be understood, not just by animals, but by people too. This is Happy Psychology. May you continue to recognize yourself and connect with the world in a way that remains quiet, honest, and deeply your own.